What up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Crypto Tips. My name is Toby.
My name is Heidi.
And we are going over our AMA questions sent to us by our CT Club members.
Yeah.
So if you want to check us out on CT Club, you get trade alerts, you get portfolio updates. Did a lot of portfolio updates lately, or trade alerts lately. So I think we scored. Anyways, let's
link
get into
for that
this.
Is down below in the video description if you want to check it out.
And like and subscribe this video too.
Yeah,
right.
If you want.
Yeah.
Okay, here's today's question.
Go for it.
As we all know, it's likely the fifth leg of the bull run. So won't it be advisable, rather, this is not financial advice, this is just our opinion, for entertainment and educational purposes only. Anyway, so won't it be advisable rather to rein your horses for bear and then start investing, since at the max one can do is a 3 to 5x in the part of the fifth leg remaining? What's the logic of buying and taking more risk in this leg, since eventually bear is going to be there unless you believe in supercycles? Can you please explain? Good question. I mean, the concept of, you're definitely taking on more risk the later on into a bull market that you buy. Obviously, the timing is more short term. The potential profits aren't as likely or, volatile as it would be had you invested a year ago. But this concept of, the best you can do is a 3 to 5x. I think that's true if you're considering Bitcoin, which maybe that's what you're talking about. And if that's the case, maybe this makes sense for you. Maybe according to your investment strategy, according to your style of investing, you see the risk and it's too risky for you, and you'd rather wait for a proper bear market capitulation.
We had a cat here.
Capitulation, and where we're in a bear market, everyone's calling crypto dead and no one's talking about it, and it's going on years because bear markets tend to last much longer in crypto. What are your thoughts, Toby? Is it too risky to buy crypto now? What's the point?
I think for some people it's very risky for some people. If you have a really short mindset within like 1 or 2 months and you want to make some quick buck, I think it's stupid, because you don't know where we are heading. I have people all the time asking me, hey, do you think this is the bottom, or this is the top or whatever, or like, hey, what's the best small cap coin I can get into that I can make a really quick buck, because I need to pay for something or whatever. I'm like, that's not the way to look at these things. Like, if you have a 5 to 10 year outlook for Bitcoin, perfect. Otherwise, it is risky, because we don't know where the price is heading. But I know like short term, but we know where it's heading long term. So, if you're the type of person that's impatient, probably not the thing for you. You know what I mean? If you are the person that is patient and that understands the space, yeah, for sure. I tell my friends to go ahead and buy it. Okay, and hey, kitty. Yes. So I tell my friends to go ahead and buy it, and that's what I tell them. I say, hey, like, if you have a longer term outlook, then that's good. If you don't, forget it. And that's the same for alts as well. So, so say for instance, Bitcoin does go up to $250,000, which would have been like at $50,000, that would have been a 5x. Well, what do you think the alts are going to do? They're going to go ballistic. And, there still is alts that, we've been telling our CT club, like, that I've been getting into, that are very capable of doing a 10x. I mean, one of them I got into that I told everybody about. The market cap was $1.1 million when I first got into it. And then it proceeded to go to like about $2 million in under 24 hours. So if it goes to $10 million from 1.1, that's almost a 10x, you know what I mean? So it depends on what type of coins you're into. So for instance, if you're in Solana, that's a different coin. You could essentially see a 10x. That would be, $1,500 right now. That could easily happen because the whole world is going to be using decentralized finance, and they're going to want cheap and affordable transactions, and they're going to want to escape a layer one, which is which is Ethereum essentially right now. And, until layer 2 comes out, there are going to be things like Avalanche, Solana, the list goes on. So yeah, there are different ways to make a 10x from here and not just a 3 to 5x or whatever.
So another part of this question is, unless you believe in super cycles, if that's the case, then maybe a bear market doesn't come, and that's bringing in a whole bunch of FOMO. I know Willy Woo is someone who's always talking about this. Bitcoin is going to become less volatile and longer cycles, pretty much saying it's a super cycle. So super cycle means it's just going to keep going forever until exponentially until we hit the new pattern or whatever. So what do you think about the concept of a super cycle?
I mean, a super cycle it doesn't just go up forever. Okay, there are pullbacks.
Yes,
there could be a 56% pullback for a couple months.
Like we're talking about long-term major trend upward.
Yeah. Then that would be a super cycle. But then you're kind of getting rid of psychology. That which is where the 4-year cycle comes in. So, I mean, a super cycle would be great. I think there's always that possibility. Yes, I've always been very 100% no. We are in a 4-year cycle, but I guess the more Heidi and I talk about it, nobody knows this. All right, so it's open for debate. And,
absolutely.
Heidi's come up with some really interesting thoughts of the more that institutions are in this space, maybe they're the ones that are going to be the diamond hands, because they're not going to be able to sell it as easily, like Michael Saylor or whatever, and his friends and his billionaire friends. Once that the Fed and ECB and world central banks are printing unlimited amounts of currency, why would you sell Bitcoin? What are you doing? It's the hardest asset in the world, most secure asset. It's in an inelastic supply. You can't just print it on a whim like you can anything. Like, for instance, like gold. That's why I don't like gold very much, because, they run out of gold and everybody wants it. Well, they're just going to dig some more. If we run out of Bitcoin, suck it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's becoming more known for anyone who, if you're in the U.S. or at all dealing with the banking system, if you find yourself coming into money that you didn't plan on or you never had to deal with before, everyone's the trend is becoming almost common knowledge that you don't keep your money in a bank. You invest in it so that you can actually protect your wealth from inflation, get a better return of whatever a savings account could maybe give you. It's definitely not going to be keeping up with inflation. And so that's like kind of the first step into the awakening of people in the traditional financial system. And I think Bitcoin is just going to fit right in that. Obviously, it's a logical next step, but not everyone is as awake as we are. So we'll be here to talk to him about it. But in the meantime, the concept of a super cycle at least is, in June when we saw that 50% drop, that got a lot of people's attention. And what we're seeing even more recently, maybe it's similar to what was happening in May. Maybe that's the bear market. Maybe it's a 2-month bear market. And that's what happens, a bear market in a super cycle. If that's the case, then great. Sign me up.
So that's really good. You have a lot of good points, and we'll see. Nobody knows right now. So anyways, that's all we have today. Please like, subscribe, and check us out on CT Club. See ya.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.